corruption inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment, and you're talking about Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clouds. Then you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Baratans too, cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up.
There and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su? Oh, Su? My relationship?
Yeah, my name is Jacinti Caldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cop. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data. I have none.
Good evening, listeners and viewers. Welcome to Over to You on this day, the 18th of January, 2025. How are you guys doing today? I'm happy to be here with you guys. We're gonna do the fastest hour in show business today. All right, fastest hour in show business. How are you guys doing? A pleasant good evening to all the Guyanese on the ground. Good evening to the Guyanese in the North American region, the wider Caribbean, the UK, the continent of South Africa, and in the entire world, whatever time it is in your country, whether it's good morning, whether it's good day, whether it's good evening. All right, welcome to the program. Welcome to the program. I'm happy to have you again. Over to you, a program for the people, by the people, and you guys know this is your investment. So I will give you guys 1 minute to go ahead and like the program and share the link. Okay, we're gonna have some discussions here this evening, and I'm gonna let you guys know up front, we are not going to be doing anything in depth with the budget this evening, but we may make some high level points in relation to the budget. All right, my focus this evening, and I think this is very, very important, is the Guyana Elections Commission. Okay, because that is the body that is responsible for making sure that there is free and fair elections in the nation of Guyana, right? We talk about change, we talk about wanting change, right? And many have been working hard over the past 5 years to try to bring about this change, right? And to know that this body, right, could make the work of these people just go to waste, just like that, I am not going to sit down here and watch that. All right. I have now been a part of this fight, this political fight now. It's going to be coming on 5 years, some point later in this year. So I have gotten to see how things really work around here. And I could tell you guys one thing before we even get into detail of the show. I can tell you guys one thing. Based on my analysis as to what I've seen over the 5 years, I have a very good understanding now for the reasons why the PPP sat there in power for 23 years. Okay. I can see why the PPP sat there in power for 23 years, and it's quite a shameful thing. It's a shameful thing. It should have never happened. And I do hope that it does not happen again. Again, welcome to the program. Like the program, share the link. Now, we're gonna have a few people that's gonna call in this evening, and be a part of the discussion. I think I have about 4 individuals that are gonna come in and they're gonna be a part of the discussion tonight to just make things a bit more interactive. I like to work off of you guys' comments, not just come and just speak, but let's make it interactive. Let's make it interesting on this program. Again, this is a program for the people, by the people. So the people have to be a part of everything here. Before I even get into GECOM, though, I just want to touch on a few little things. Pastor Eliakim, also known as Apostle Nigel London, is going to be having a new party that's going to be in play. It is called the People's Movement. And I'm just giving my opinion. I believe it's a good thing because I know what Apostle London stands for. Okay? And I can tell you one thing. He would get up in Parliament and tell off Harry right to Harry wrong. And I love that because that's exactly what I would have done had I ever had the opportunity to be a parliamentarian. It would have been hell in Parliament. It would have been hell. Mansour Nadir would have tossed me out of Parliament many times. Many times. Because when I look at him, all I see is an idiot. When I look at him, all I see is a biased idiot. Right? You need strong leaders. You need people who are going to stand up and bell the cat. All right? We don't need people to look at little petty things. Like, for example, Apostle London has a contract with the government. Hey, that's taxpayers' money. Okay? We talk about, monies not coming the way of African Guyanese and African Guyanese not getting contracts. Well, the contracts cannot be available to you. You're not accepting them. So whenever a contract comes available to an African Guyanese, you accept the contract. Accept the contract. It's your tax money. Why would you turn down tax money from you and your neighbors and everybody who's going into a pool and putting all these contracts, whether it's cleaning trenches, whether it's building roads or whatever it is? It is government contracts. It is not PPP contracts. It is not PPP money. So we need to distinguish these things. We need to understand these things. Right? Akwesi and I. London having a political party is not a good thing. Now, I want you to answer right in the comments. Give me the reason why. Let me just say one thing. I talk about strong leadership. The people of Guyana need options, man. All right? There need to be some pivoting in the whole political framework of Guyana. You ask me personally if I believe in winner take all? Absolutely not. It's because of winner take all you have a budget that the PPP is solely, unilaterally preparing. I don't believe that is the way budgets should be done. I believe that all stakeholders should be a part of budget preparation. Okay? Janet, your point is well taken. But there's a lot of people also who does not like the posture of the general parties within the opposition, right? So what are you going to do? Are you prepared to lose those votes or prepared for those people not to show up to vote? Right? Let's think this through, Janet. Let's think this through. Right? Let's think this through. the posture of a lot of people, not the majority of people are with the opposition, but there are quite a few people that is somewhat fed up. All right, so where do those people go? Where do those people go? You can't have them sitting there and then when they cross the aisle, we are upset. You can't, because listen, here, when we talk about democracy, right, we cannot talk about democracy from a convenient perspective. It cannot be convenient democracy. It has to be democracy across the board, right? That people have a right to choose, right? People have a right to choose. Now, we have spent the entire year calling on MPs, calling on the opposition to engage the people on the ground. We have spent, I want to know, how long more do you guys want to do this? How longer do you guys want to just keep harping away about MPs and nobody's moving? Just a few are working. How long more are we going to do this? I don't know about you guys, but whenever I'm a part of something, I like to see movement. I'm not here to play around with people. I like to see movement. It's either you're in or you're out. It's one of the two, right? You're in or you're out. This is a fight. Okay, we see what's happening. We see what's going on right now at GECOM. And we're going to address that today. This is a fight, guys. And this fight is not an internal fight. This fight is not an internal fight. Some of the moves that the PPP is making, I can see that they're getting their advice and information from exterior forces. All right? But we have to change that because you know what? We have laws in Guyana. We have a constitution in Guyana. And we have to speak up and we have to make those things, those protections work for us. Because right now, guys, please, let's think here together. Right now, it appears as if our country is trying to shift into a one-party state. You don't want that. You don't want that. Because then you have no democracy. All right? With the Guyana Elections Commission, there's no democracy. Democracy is not being exercised by the Guyana Elections Commission. Right? Democracy is not being exercised by the Guyana Elections Commission. So, our opposition is what we have to depend on. Their positions, the positions of the opposition, is going to be very, very, very critical here. Now, before I start getting the callers in, let me just do a quick breakdown here of what Claudette Singh said. Now, we have to remember that the PPP was installed in August of 2020, right? Okay. Claudette Singh made 5 points. She gave 5 points as to the reason why biometrics is not possible at this time. Okay, brothers and sisters, she gave 5 points, right? Okay. The first point is holding stakeholder consultations to determine whether GECOM should introduce biometrics now. Okay. That's the first point. Let's say you put that first point, you table that first point in the year 2021, where you engage the stakeholders. Okay, you get the entire year of 2021 to do that. Right? That entire first point. Second point, consulting with stakeholders like government and parliament to determine whether it is even possible to do so, considering the cost and any legislative amendments that are necessary to cater fully to it. Okay, you got the entire year of 2022 to do that. Okay? The entire year of 2022, you have to do that. We move to 2023. Procurement of equipment for the introduction of biometrics in the registration process at the place of poll. All right, you have all of 2023 to do that. Okay, and while you do that, you might as well simultaneously go ahead and do house-to-house registration, creating a new voters list. Okay, you guys remember, in all of these years, we had national budgets, right? When we came out of the 2020 election, my thing was electoral reform needs to be one of the number one things that government should address because of the separation that it would have brought amongst the people. Okay? All right. Now, let's move to training of staff on the use of such equipment. You understand me? Training of staff on the use of such equipment. We could have taken all of 2024 and do that. And you don't need a whole year to do that. You could have taken half of the year to do that. And then the other half of 2024, you could have took the last point, public education on the introduction of these systems and how they are to be used to aid in registration and in voting. So, all right, guys, I laid them all out there. And even if you want to take the last point and move it into 2025, we could have used the first 5 or 6 months of 2025, this current year, to do that. So, all in all, I am trying to say this. All right? There is absolutely no excuse for the position that Claudette Singh would have taken here. All right? This is a purposeful move. All right? It is illegal. Okay? GECOM, Claudette Singh, and everybody should be taken to court. All right? And I hope the opposition show that they have some spine, because here, I'm going to go back again. I'm going to pivot back. Certain people may not like me after what I have to say here, but I got to speak it like it is. Right? I get up to a voice message from Miss Rhonda Lane this morning. And she's gutted. She's hurt. All right? She reached out to me. She said, Wayne, all the protests in front of GECOM for nothing. This is the position that Claudette Singh is taking. Right? She was gutted. All right? And before I even get into more that she had to say, to other social media contributors, I'm not going to call your name. When Rhonda Lane reach out to you, please respond to her. Okay? Please respond to her. All right? Whenever she reaches me, I always respond to her. So I'm asking everybody to kindly respond to her. Okay? Or address her concerns. Okay. Let me move forward. Yeah, Rhonda Lane, she was out there. Day in, day out, month in, month out, year in, year out. Okay? I think it's her and Mr. Kidaki Amsterdam who would have started this whole thing out front of GECOM. Well, we all know Kidaki have his morning shows and stuff like that. He cannot be out there, like that. Right? But most of the time it's 13 to 17 people. And when she spoke to me, I thought to myself, I said, maybe if that protest was more robust, if the stakeholders themselves would have come out and partake in that protest out front of GECOM every Tuesday, maybe the outcome would have been different. Just maybe. Okay? I'm not saying that it would have been different, but maybe it would have been different. And they could have given account saying that, hey, we were actually there. I know sometimes the Honorable Miss Nima Flubes was there. Coretta McDonald was there from time to time. You had members of the AFC that was there from time to time. All right. But We needed to do better in that area. We needed to have done better in that area. Now, with what Claudette Singh have just said, right? I cannot say that we're playing on the front foot anymore. She has just threw us back on the back foot. We are on the back foot now. So my question is, what shot are we going to play? Right? And then also I have a question again, and I've asked this question before for Ms. Claudette Singh and the PPP, because I am of the belief, and I don't care, I am of the belief that GECOM is run solely by the PPPC. GECOM is no longer an independent body / organ. Okay? Claudette Singh has sold away all her integrity. She cannot be trusted. Period. Period. And I would join with the opposition in saying that she needs to resign. Ms. Claudette Singh, you're disingenuous. You're selfish. Okay? You have no decorum. You have no feelings for the people of Guyana. Right? You know what you would have put them through the last 5 years? You guys are getting tired up, because a lot of people are looking at this $100,000 cash grant. That is garbage. People must create wealth with 100,000 Guyana dollars. Where? How? How you create generational wealth with 100,000 Guyana dollars and a few black chickens being distributed to you? How? Again, I pose this question to you, Claudette Singh, and the PPPC. From the year 2020, after we had the elections in the year of 2020, after that election, okay, and the divide that it would have caused across the country, what processes have GECOM put in place to mitigate the occurrence of the same again? I asked the question, what processes have you guys put in place to make sure that the elections of 2025 is not rigged? We have never gotten an answer on that. These are the questions that the opposition needs to be put into GECOM. These are the questions, the exact questions the opposition needs to be put into GECOM, because I see Ms. Vashti Megnat, absolutely nothing. And Ms. Megnat, you might be absolutely correct. Absolutely nothing. And absolutely nothing is not accepted by the Guyanese people, neither is it enough. Okay? Neither is it enough. I want to see in the comments with you guys. We're going to make this interactive this afternoon. How many of you believe that we should go to elections with this same voters list? And how many of you believe that we should put a hold on these elections and make sure that biometrics is in place and we have a new voters list, so free and fair elections? And when I say put elections on hold, this is the fault of GECOM and the PPP. So the PPP government should be in a take care mode, just like how they put the opposition in a take care mode in their period from 2015 to 2020. Right? It should be a take care of government until we have a clean voters list and biometrics. It is needed. Because I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, we go to elections with this same voters list, you guys are going to be disappointed. What the guy, Anil Giddens, yes, the guy that does the statistics and stuff in there at GECOM. You guys think that voters list, you guys, honestly, guys, come on, talk to me. You guys think that voters list is clean? That thing is manipulated time and time and time over again. The opposition is not even going to come close in an election done with that current list. That list is well rigged. You know what's funny though? We had CARICOM here. We had the Carter Center here. You had the US ambassador meddling. You had the British High Commissioner meddling. You had the Canadian ambassador meddling. Have you guys seen a piece from any of those individuals or any of those bodies that is saying to Claudette Singh and GECOM that they need to do the right thing by the people? We have seen absolutely nothing. I don't want to jump on the opposition here. But guys, the posture has to change. The posture has to change. Did somebody promise you guys regime change? The postures really has... Look, the PPP is a runaway train. Nobody's stopping them. No laws are in place to stop them. They're not adhering to any laws. They use the laws when it's convenient to them. And that is it. You guys are flat out being bullied. And that's why I said early on the program, I understand the reasoning why the PPP was able to sit in government for 23 years. I understand the reasoning why. I understand the reasoning why now. Now, let's move forward here. The reasoning that the PPP was able to sit in government is because of the posture of the opposition. You understand me? We cannot allow ourselves to be bullied. How are you representing your people when you are just laying over and allowing the other side to just bully you? We got to stand up. We got to start showing that we have a spine. Social media can't do it all. Social media can't do it all. You guys in the opposition, you guys have all the knowledge. You guys have all the numbers. You have everything. You guys should be forthcoming. And for the numbers that you don't have, that you should be having, you should be taking the government to court. We got to stop the ego games. It's not about egos here. It's not about egos here. We got to stop the games, man. We got to be forthcoming to the people. This cannot just be a situation where we go to elections. You know, we use the same bloated list. The PPP come out victorious because they manipulated the list. And here we go for another 5 years. You guys are getting paid. What about the Guyanese people, though? That's what I'm here for. I'm not here to make friends with you guys. I'm here for the Guyanese people. What about them? That's my question to you guys. What about them? What about them? Are you guys going to continue to sit in the positions that you're sitting in and waste time? What about the people? What is your vision for the country? What is your vision to get into a clean voters list? We want to know these things. We can't just talk. We can't just go on press conferences and talk. I watch press conferences all day today, guys, on the budget. And I'm going to tell you this from the opposition. I heard great things. And you know what I said to myself? I said, if the opposition was on the ground speaking to the people on these same issues, you understand me? The outcome would be much, much different. If the opposition was on the ground speaking to the people to these issues, and I'm not saying that the opposition is never on the ground, they are on the ground, but they were not operating at 100%, man. I'm not hitting the leader here, but as a leader, man, you got to have all your people behind you. When you have one that is straying away, you have to reel that person and pull them in, negotiate with them. You guys saw what happened in the US here with the Speaker of the House. There were some people who were voting the other way. This is a perfect example, ladies and gentlemen. What he did, he had to get in a room and speak with them, negotiate with them, all right? And get them to stand behind his vision. This is what I'm saying. No time for egos. People's lives are at risk. Okay? Look at the budget. Look at the budget. We have started calling quickly for cash grants to be included in the budget. Was a cash grant included in this current budget? No. No. So you people of Guyana who's going to be going to the polls, guys, try to recall, try to vet both sides. Remember, you've already given one side 5 years, okay, with an oil-rich Guyana. 5 years. Now you measure and see what you've gotten. 5 years from your oil extraction, from your oil revenue, you've gotten 500 US. Okay? 500 US. Now, you go through that and you ask yourself, is that enough? I know some of you in Guyana on the ground may have never gotten 100,000 Guyana dollars in your hand before. But I'm going to say this. There's a reason why we have all these programs here. And what we've been saying over and over and over again on these programs is that you Guyanese are some of the richest people per capita in this nation. All right? You guys are some of the richest per capita in this nation. It's whether you're willing to execute, right? And let your vote count and let that actually happen for you, where you are gaining from your oil patrimony. It is totally up to you. Totally up to you. All right? See, Flash Gordon, get involved in the country's business. Correct is right. Correct is right. Lyndon Forbes Burnham said to the people, get involved in the country's business. Good evening. Welcome to Over to You. How are you?
Oh, yes, Wayne. I'm doing great, man. Thanks for taking my call.
Yes.
Good to be with you and the Guyanese people. Wishing everyone a fantastic new year. And even better yet, wishing good success in the upcoming elections. Hopefully there's a change in government and power is returned back to the people.
All right, caller, just speak up a little bit for me so I could make sure. Audience, just let me know if the call is audible.
Can you hear me any better?
Yes, better. Yes. Speak it up loud so they can hear.
Yes, Wayne. So, I just wanted to talk a little bit. I don't know if you have anything specific you would like to discuss, but I did read a little bit on the budget.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of the same. I see that it's nothing forward thinking. It's more giveaways for fat cats and cronies of the government. There's very little for the poor people and for the ordinary folk. Most of the money is being spent in the PPP constituency where their votes are likely to come from. So they're going to spend money behind sugar On the one hand, I think the guy's name is it Ashni Singh, the finance guy.
Yes.
He did say that the government was doing a lot of automation of the sugar industry. And what struck me is that you're claiming to do automation, but yet you have an increase in manpower. So the two is very conflicting. When you do automation, we all know that true automation results in less people.
Less manpower, yes.
Less manpower. So that alone tells me that they think that the Guyanese people are uninformed and they're stupid. So you're telling me you're mechanizing the sugar industry. The reason why they haven't been mechanizing the sugar industry is because they know that if they truly mechanize the sugar industry, it will result in cuts, in labor cuts. Because that's how it's logical, that's how it works. The whole idea of mechanism is to reduce labor costs. So they are making the Guyanese people fools, or they think they are. And so they're spending a ton of money behind sugar just to keep their supporters happy.
Good.
And,
that's an excellent point. That's an excellent point there. They're using the sugar industry as a mechanism for getting votes. That's what they use. That's what they've been using. Yes.
Sugar for. And they made the big hue and cry that Granger got rid of so many sugar, let off so many sugar workers. It was political, and it's unfortunate that the country is in such a sad state that any decision that affects any group of person will be seen through the political lens. That is why I believe that one of the points you mentioned is so critical to the development of Guyana is the abolition of winner-take-all. In any serious democracy, no one party can hold 100% power. That is not democracy. That's an authoritarian system, and that is a one-party government, where one party holds all the cards, they make all the decisions, they have all power. And that is very bad for Guyana. And that must change. And I'm surprised that the opposition has not been pushing harder for that kind of constitutional reform to end winner take all.
But caller, we have ambassadors that are in Guyana that calls Guyana a democracy, a functioning democracy. Okay? So across the board, look, I'm going to say this. This is from my perspective. I can foresee me having issues with the word democracy and democracy from a holistic perspective. Okay? I can see myself having issues with it because I'm just not seeing it exercised. Okay? You're telling me that democracy in what is quote unquote maybe a second or a third world country looks different from democracy in the United States of America. I believe it should be much of the same, right? I know economically you're going to find that, all right, there's a big disconnect because, yes, the U.S. economy is the world's largest economy, right? And Guyana's economy from a third world country perspective is the world's fastest growing economy. So there's a difference there. But as far as the framework should be looking identical, right, caller? Do you agree?
I agree with you, and I would further say that it is the job of a loyal opposition to be pushing back. Whenever these foreign governments classify Guyana, they can raise objections to the classification. They can say that Guyana may be a fledgling democracy. It's not a democracy fully. I mean, there are aspects of democracy. Democracy is not a one-day event. The only, being able to cast a vote is not democracy. Just being able to cast a vote and that vote doesn't count, or that vote doesn't give you any power or a stake in the running of the country, then that's not democracy. If 51% gets to control 100% and the other 49% gets zero, then that's not democracy. And then the opposition must push back. And while pushing back, they also push for change to the Constitution constitutional reform and electoral reform that puts power back into the hands of the people. So so that people will benefit from their vote. If you were going out and vote, the government did not win 100% of the Guyanese people, and so they should not be controlling 100%. So we don't have a democracy in Guyana. What we have is, aspects of democracy, but it cannot be seriously considered a democracy. And I hope that the opposition does more to push back when they deal with the international community, to use the opportunity to point out the fundamental flaws that makes Guyana not qualified to be seriously called a democracy.
Well, very, 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 very well said, caller. And I want to really, really thank you for your contribution. Your point is very, very well taken. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
thank you. Yep, thank you. Yep, thank you so much. Good night. You guys heard that. As clear as ever, right? As clear as ever. This winner-take-all system, we cannot. We're in the 21st century. It is time that we start moving away from this. Okay, it is time that we start moving away from this. And I got to give the opposition some credit. Okay, because when the opposition talks about Guyana, they speak about Guyana from a holistic perspective, meaning they're speaking for all 6 ethnic groups. And under the coalition, the 2015 to 2020 coalition, the way that Comrade Granger operated with his coalition is that they were addressing the issues and the needs of all Guyanese. Okay? He didn't just extract and say, okay, we're going to focus on the Guyanese of African descent, or we're going to focus on the Amerindian Guyanese. No. They were addressing everyone. All right? We didn't have, and look, it was freedom of speech. It was great protection for everyone in place. You know, the lights are on for the most part, right? There was no list of names at the airport or anyway. Nobody wasn't getting harassed by police and all this type of stuff, right? But what we see now under this government, installed government that is looking to make Guyana a one-party state, is that as soon as you speak, as soon as you say anything, they're ready to serve you. They're ready to do all these things. You know, the ERC's consistently writing you. You know, they've never write me. And you guys can't write me. I've told you guys that already. Don't write me. Don't even think about it. You guys can't write me. You know that. Don't write me. Don't write me. I'm not paying you guys any attention. You guys, again, I believe that you guys should be decommissioned. You guys are garbage. All right, that's just my take. The ERC is garbage. I'll say it again. I thought I said before, I'll say it again. Garbage. Serves absolutely no purpose. If there's any purpose that you guys serve, it's to harass people who speak up against this installed government. Okay? That is it. Now, back to GECOM. Back to GECOM. So the Guyana Elections Commission, I'm believing they have a vision for the PPPC. Okay? I know that we have Vincent Alexander, Desmond Trotman, and Charles Corbin there, you know, representing the opposition. I would like, they don't have to come on my program, but I would like to see all 3 of those gentlemen together on a program, breaking down to the Guyanese people exactly what would have occurred between 2020 and now. Right? I would like to know what's happening. I would like to know if this body should even be in existence. Why do we have a Guyana Elections Commission? What have these guys done? What have these guys done in the last 5 years? Where it is that the taxpayers' money is going? Where is the service for that money? These are the questions we need to be asking. We just cannot continue to waste the taxpayers' money. And you guys tax these people high. Cost of living in Guyana is through the roof. Show me why you have an ERC. Show me why you have a GECOM. It's needed, I agree, because we need free and fair elections. But I'm talking about this GECOM. And I know people like to pick and choose and all of that, and people like to just take everything and pour it onto Claudette Singh. I just think a little bit further. All of you. I think I know of that lady who's right, that young lady who's right behind Claudette Singh. I'm saying to all of you guys, you lack, you understand me, integrity. You guys are disingenuous. You are a failure to the Guyanese people. All of you, across the board. I'm saying it. You're disingenuous, man. You guys ought to be ashamed of yourself. You have not executed your duties on behalf of the Guyanese people. You have sold your integrity. Completely sold. And I don't want to hear, I can't do this and I can't do that. No. People are punishing because of the decisions that this body has made. Now, this body and its leader is going to come out and say, no biometrics. Okay, even if you're saying no biometrics, where is the clean voters list? Where is the clean voters list? You guys have done absolutely nothing. And these are the things that the opposition need to be pointing out and coming out vehemently and speaking on. They are the paid politicians here. You guys have been put in place to represent the people. You guys have made a lot of questionable choices when it comes to the petitions and those petitions being represented in court. I have a problem. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll just take this from a high-level position. I have a problem. I'm not going to go into detail, just a high-level position. There's a certain lawyer that you guys selected in that petition case that you had no right selected. None at all. Because he's going to defend you guys and make you guys win some of the small cases. But you see the large cases like the petition, the real meaningful cases, you guys going to come up short. I'm saying this, ladies and gentlemen, tonight. I'm not willing to sit down and do this like it is here. No. I got to speak to what I see. I'm not hiding anything. I came on here for the people of Guyana. I came on to speak on their behalf. Not to make friends with anybody. We got a job to do. We need to execute. Shameful. GECOM say no biometrics. That forest vice president that does have that press conference every Thursday. You think that man gonna have any objections to that? No, that was his decision. That is his. You guys sit down in Guyana and allow one pathetic man to just control the narrative. The people continues to live in poverty. One man that you even caught on video making a corrupt deal. He continues to walk free. That's why, guys, that's why when when they came out and they were saying, oh, a particular country is going to come and get all of them, I sat down and I laughed. I sat down and I laughed. Why would anybody do anything to Barry Jagdeo with what he is doing if they themselves are benefiting from it? Why would they do anything? Look, man, I'm going to say this. Don't play the colonial game with me, because I understand it very, very well. This is the 24th century. Don't try to bring 24th century colonialism my way, because I ain't hearing it. I gonna call it. I'm not hearing it. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, understand it. We, all of us here on this earth, we are born equal. Don't get twisted up. Don't get twisted up. And this is what upsets me with the leadership in Guyana. All of them. They allow people to come from their country and sit down and tell them what to do in their own country. What? Are you guys dum-dums? You don't understand your own country? You don't understand your own country. To have other people come in and tell you how you should run your country. I would quickly position myself and say, excuse me? I say, I understand my country. I understand what needs to be done here. We got to stop having people walk into Guyana and always feel like if they're superior to us. That's why you see, look, I got to miss LFL Bornum. And I know many of you do. You have to miss the man. That's why people call him all kind of names. Because he would not allow people to walk into his country and dictate terms. And I love that. Nobody should be allowing people to walk into their country and dictate terms. No one. We got to get serious, man. Look, time is of the essence. We're already halfway through January. Okay? We're already halfway through January. I'm not a member of parliament in the opposition. I'm not the opposition leader. I am merely given an opportunity to host a little show right here. There's only so much that I can do. There's only so much my other counterparts who host shows and take their time to present to the Guyanese people can do. We need a live opposition on the ground. We need a live, look, we got some things that we need to address. We need people from the opposition on the NRF board. Okay? We need our equal time on NCN. How can you guys just give away NCN to the PPP? I would have took out 3 an AFC MP and 2 PNCR MPs and say, here, this is your job. And one of them would have had to be an attorney. At all costs, you guys go ahead and make sure that we are getting our time on NCN. If you have to take them to court, take them to court. We got to stop being passive. If we're passive, the people are going to just walk right over us, like the runaway train that they have going right now. These people don't care about Guyanese. You guys saw the people sleeping in Parliament. You saw them sleeping in Parliament. And speaking of Parliament, is the Artichon Convention Center now the permanent place for Parliament to be held? What happened to our historical Parliament building? You'll have it sit there and then you're going to say, oh, some outside investors coming in to build a hotel there. I'm just jumping the gun on you guys because that's how you guys operate. That's how you guys operate. NCN belongs to the people of Guyana. NCN is a national broadcasting entity. Please, if I'm incorrect, I think Mr. Basil Bradshaw is wrong somewhere on the program. He can correct me accordingly if I am incorrect. And the time on NCN should be shared. The PPP only has a 1-seat majority. Okay? They only have a 1-seat majority. They should not be controlling, even if they have most of the time on NCN. It shouldn't be by much. Okay? They just have a 1-seat majority. Over the years, since LFS Burnham would have left this world, August coming is going to be, I believe, 40 years. The PNC party has become very, very passive in my estimation. Very, very passive. And I have a lot of questions about some of those leaders that were there within the 23 years that the PPP reigned. I have a lot of questions to them. I wouldn't like to be in the same room with them because I don't think the exchanges is going to always be pleasant. You know, because I cannot believe that you was working and you could not uproot a government for 23 years that was building an economy on drugs, extrajudicial killings, amongst other things, racketeering, everything. We were on all the blacklists, thanks to Comrade Granger and his coalition, pulled us off of all those lists. Yet when they go to start reading the budget, the first thing they always attempt to do is talk bad about the coalition, talk bad about the opposition. These guys are not willing to engage the opposition. They are willing to make all their decisions unilateral. But yet we have ambassadors coming into Guyana and talking about democracy in Guyana. Come on, guys. You're not talking to dunces here. We understand what's going on. We understand what's going on. All right? Right now, Guyana is the pool. Everybody wants to invest in Guyana. Everybody's just in Guyana to take. You guys don't think about the normal man on the ground in Guyana? Because when you take, you're taking from him. You're taking from her. When you take. I'm just letting you guys know. Right? But you know something, guys? And Colin Barwell, it's good to have guys like you around on the program because you know you guys can correct me. This is what this world has always been about, man. And I can see at the end of all of this, the Guyanese people are still in poverty. Okay? And nothing would have really changed for them. They're not allowed to purchase, you know, the lands the way they would like to. Lands are not available to Guyanese that are poor. Why? Because it is not affordable. These are things that we need to address in budgets, man. Saying that we're going to open up this amount of land and make it available to the normal born and bred Guyanese. These are the things that we need to address in budgets. You know, we just keep talking about infrastructure, massive buildings, roads, among other. Infrastructure, all it leads to, you know, is just alleys for corruption. Right? There's how the corruption happens, through infrastructure. And the cost of the different structures. They cut, they skim off, they take what they have to take for themselves, and that's it. You know, you're giving contracts to people who knows nothing about roads. Right? And then what they have to do, they have to take those contracts and they have to push it to someone with that type of expertise. Right? That is what's happening through Guyana. True and true. And for many of you people, you guys see these contracts and you say, oh, hey, PPP boy, PPP is doing a great. No, man, stop it. Start thinking. It's your money. It's not PPP money. And I want to make one more point as we close in on time. And this is a point that the opposition leader made, and I back him on it. a lot of people try to judge the 5 years under the coalition with this 5 years on the PPP. How can you? How can you? How silly can you be? Was Guyana oil producing nation between 2015 and 2020? How can you? How could that be fair? How could that ever be fair? It can never be fair. Okay? So get it right. You cannot judge a government that was in place in a non, and the PPP does this too. Barry Jagdeo himself does this. That is wicked. That right there is wicked. Because I'm going to be honest, and this has nothing to do with biases in favor of the opposition. The opposition do have a much better vision for Guyana than the PPP could ever have. That's why I'm upset with the opposition for not being on the ground, edifying the people, especially the young people in Guyana, of the vision that they have for them. It's a vision that will bring across prosperity to the people of Guyana instead of poverty. It's a vision that addresses a lot of the mechanisms that needs to be put in place to eradicate poverty. Housing, education. Guys, education, university education is free in Guyana because of all of you that are present here, social media, and the opposition. Not the PPP. Not the PPP. It is pressure that would have brought about free university in Guyana. It is pressure. So don't get it tied up. And then just as a reminder to the people, university was taken away from Guyanese by the PPPC. Okay? When there were methods that could have been used to still keep university free for those that are poor, we could have done that according to income. It would have given so many an opportunity to go to university. So, Guyanese, let's not look. By far, I'm going to say this in my opinion, by far, the opposition is the better option for the people of Guyana. Why? Because the opposition know, even if they get into power, they have to engage the other side, and they will engage the other side because they believe in doing that is right. They are intellectuals. They are very educated. They understand what they're doing. That's why I have a problem with the execution. I don't have a problem with the understanding. I have a problem with the execution. Guyana belongs to everyone. You guys could go into any constituency you want to. The PPP walk in there with their security. You beef up your security and walk into constituencies too. What's the matter? It's because you guys act so soft, man. You guys need to stop acting like jellyfishes because you guys act so soft. That's why your supporters are coming into the country. They're getting harassed at the airport and all these kind of stuff. You guys should be jumping all over these things. You guys should be bringing these things up to the human rights institutions around the world. Every week there should be a letter penned. All these institutions should be aware of what's happening at GECOM, which is a total disregard for democracy. People just want to say Claudette Singh, retired judge. I want to know the decisions that you would have made as a judge. I would like to go over all of them. You guys think this stuff is easy, man? When people behave this way, it shows that this is the way that they were always behaving. You need to track back. And going forward, when it comes to issues of litigation in the opposition party, be careful of the attorneys that you're choosing. Be very, very careful. Be very, very careful. Because some of them are very disingenuous. Because you could sit down at the table and you could grab yourself 4 to 5 meals a day. You don't care about the normal born and bred Guyanese. And everybody that is receiving the $100,000 cash grant, it belongs to you. It's not the PPPC money. It is taxpayers' money. Okay? Don't get tied up. All right? Again, we must demonstrate love one for another. And let's stop demonstrating that innate love for money. It's going to lead us down the wrong road. It's going to lead us to disaster. Let's use money for the purposes it was meant for. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining this evening. I hope that, you guys find the program to be good, to be edifying. I want to thank you guys for your participation. Also, yes, Colin Barnwell, I know there's a lot of cases out there. There's a lot of cases out there. There's a lot of cases that should have been out there. Natural Resource Fund Board case, NCN case, petitions case. And by the way, I never talk about the CCJ. Right? To the extent that we have a new government, I believe that they should look to move away from the CCJ. Okay? I don't like the posture of the CCJ. The cases with the CCJ is not done expeditiously. It's concerning to me. Right? You have conflict of interest with the CCJ, with judges coming to visit people and all this type of stuff. All right? Guys, we got a lot of cleaning up to do, my brothers and sisters. We got a lot of cleaning up to do, okay? Let's work together right here. You guys right here. We can get it done. All right? We can get it done. All of you guys who know, MPs and members in the opposition, man, you guys badger them and let them know that they need to get out there. Look, these guys in the opposition, guys, they know how to present themselves. Man, I thought our MPs, all of them, from top to bottom, they dress beautifully for the occasion of the budget reading. They all looked well. Guys, let that transfer to the people on the ground. You guys are the better side of the aisle. Show the world that you're better, man. Stop being passive. Stop staying in your office. Come out in your offices. Come out and address your constituencies. The people want you on the ground. The complaint is that they don't see y'all. And when I say they don't see y'all, I'm not talking about everybody. You guys who's not on the ground, you know yourselves. All right? You got to work the ground. You cannot just come on a program like how I am on a program here. I'm not a member of parliament. You got to hit the ground also. That's a big part of what you do. You weren't hired or you weren't selected to sit in an air-conditioned office. Okay? Because your constituencies, they are struggling. I want to touch on this. This is the last thing I'm going to touch on. Where are the religious organizations across Guyana? Apostle London, you're exempt. Mr. Cleveland Thomas, you're exempt. And there are a few more that are exempt. But the rest of you guys did not see the decision that Claudette Singh made. It doesn't bother you. It doesn't bother you at all. Are you receiving subventions from the government that is that good? All right. Wake up. Guyana needs prayer. All right. Wake up. All right. You're not there just to serve the purpose of collecting tithes and offering. Wake up. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining. Until next week, guys, have a pleasant weekend, and we shall catch up next week. I love you all. I love you all. Sometimes we have to be stern, but hey, I love you guys. This is a fight, right? And we got to get up for the fight. This is tough love. This is tough love. We got to get up for this fight. Love you, love you, love you. Until next week, everybody, have a good week. Thank you.
And fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Sujurong?
Su? Oh, Su. My...